Tends to keep. We're a little bit choked on red mana, so I'm pretty sure we're supposed to play Channeler on turn 1, where if we go Inquisition on turn 1, we can't necessarily play Channeler plus Bolt on 2. Athena's about 3.5. Once they get refunded, I'll do it next time. Yeah, can a mod confirm when they refund Deathy? Do you have any mods in the chat? Mod check. It's Blue Red Murktide. I've really liked this matchup ever since I just finally bit the bullet and added the third Terminate to the board. Got some lag there. Yeah, at one point I played 3 Kroxa. I haven't been on 3 Kroxa in a long time, though. King, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you. So we make our opponent hit us once with the Channeler. Thank you, Lockhart. And then we need to deal ourselves a little bit more damage to get these shadows out of bolt range. So the hand is Lightning Bolt, 3 mystery cards. That's not Athena, by the way. I always feel so embarrassed. Everybody always thinks that dog is Athena. And a bit of card on top with Sarah Visions. This turn, if we could draw a non-basic land, so we could just play both shadows with no fear of the bolt, I'm feeling pretty good. Otherwise, we probably just have to take another hit, then bolt the Channeler, then play the shadows, which I don't really want to do. Yikes. Alright, maybe dead game 1. Maybe dead. Oh, interesting. This is the smart play for them to Murktide pre-combat so they don't grow the shadow. Although now I can attack. Yeah, now I can attack pretty freely. And then we go second Death Shadow, bolt the Channeler. And then if they attack me, we took their bolt. Their hand is Counterspell Mystery card. They can't really attack me, right? Unless they draw bolt, then we'll just die. But if they attack me, then they're dead. Okay. Iteration. Canal is one of the 2 hits. So he has Counterspell, 2 mystery cards. Bolt is lethal. So usually I cut the Inquisitions and the Dress Downs to play 3 Flusterstorm, 3 Terminate. And I've been really happy with the sideboard plan. I've been winning this matchup a lot. We won this matchup playing for 5-0 2 days ago. But obviously it's very swingy and there's a lot going on in this matchup. I'd say it's one of the more complicated in the format. So go Blood Crypt, Thoughtseize. They kept another 1-lander. This hand is terrible. I guess I'll just take the Bauble because that's their 0 mana card selection spell, while Thought Scour doesn't give them any card selection. In fact, if they wait to cast this Thought Scour till my turn, I'm just gonna drown it. Hard to say if that was a mistake on their part or not. Probably not, especially if they drew a land, then pretty fine. Alright, they did not find land number 2. They do have a lot of removal for my creatures, though. Although, this Thoughtseize is very timely. Oh no, I started to exit out of their hand thinking this would resolve. So they have another... Was it an Unholy Heat or a Bolt that I clicked off of? Does anybody remember? It was Heat, thank you. So they have Counterspell, Bolt, Heat. I've been getting in the habit of like actually clicking off of those before the Thoughtseize is revealed. It's honestly like really dumb that... like it doesn't just handle the whole thing for you like Arena does. If I change it to the Lurrus version, should I play Bloodchief's Thirst so I can do it with Murktides? Probably, yeah. Probably. I've been liking Thirst. Good old Lightning Bolts. Giant Growth. Yeah, get the Steven so they're on the 2-turn clock. And also out of a Delirious Heat range. And then... do I play the Ragavan into Heat? I don't think so. I'll just Counterbolt if they target me here. And they conceded. A little bit of concession lag, though. Going to game 3. Feeling pretty good. Your dogs can hear the dog through the mic and are barking at it? Hell yeah. Okay, Lurrus on the draw. Yeah, you have to keep this hand. Do you like Jamoka's command with no counterspell banned Stoneblade more than traditional stock list? Yeah, I mean, traditional banned Stoneblade decks have not been doing really well. That was like really the only build of banned Stoneblade I was finding any success with. But it wasn't like I was just demolishing with that deck. But I did find it to be playable. But it was a while. I probably would change some things about the deck. I didn't really find it that enjoyable to play too. Just like the versions of the versions of Bant Stoneblade without the counterspells are just like less interesting. Like I know you have Spellstutter Sprite, but it just felt like more like a Taxes deck than a like traditional Bant Stoneblade list, which I didn't find to be as fun. People play around Dash Ragavan way too much. They need to play around Ragavan or Counterspell more, in my opinion, by the way. Let's see what I draw here. I have a second Ragavan, so I kind of just want to cast one here. My opponent's missing land drops. I think that's fine. I know it doesn't use my mana to my full effect, but I have a lot to do with my mana, so like dashing and not getting anything else seems medium to me. I tried Eye of the Tyrant over Bugbear's Rakdos. I want to. It's honestly like, as far as playtesting something like that, it's always going to be like really kind of negligible, the impact of something like that, right? So I haven't sat down and playtested it, but I'll get around to it at some point. Let me Thoughtseize them here, I think. Next turn we can maybe go Kroxa plus Monkey. They have Serum Visions on top. Yeah, I really never hit lands on Iteration. It is what it is. Obviously, it's going to be a hand of all spells. Not that strong of a hand, though. And they just drew the Serum Visions, they cast it. Why do we play the land tapped rather than saving a fetch and holding up Unholy Heat? I think they were really unlikely to play a threat because they don't have more lands in their hand, and they didn't spend the previous turn playing a threat. They spent it casting Unholy Heat. So I felt that they were exceedingly unlikely to have a threat there. And like you can just like get burned out in this matchup or killed by one Murktide swing, so I don't like to shock aggressively in this matchup unless I have a shadow in hand already. Kroxa's looking pretty good here. We got a land off the top of their library, which I'm pretty happy about. They just put it on top of the Serum Visions. Yeah, they did one top, one bottom, and we exiled the land that they finally found. And they discarded the Archmage's Charm, which makes sense since it's the 3-mana spell, and they still haven't found that land. So they had his Iteration, Bolt, Snapcaster, Mystery card that they drew off the Serum Visions. New card for turn, was not affected by the Scries. And they're just passing. Alright, so let's go Kroxa, Escape. The Ragavan Bauble. Thanks for the follow, guys. What's with... I don't know. I got all those the same moment. Hi, Esther. They discard Ragavan. I will play my Mire and pass. They bolt me. JH, Killer, thank you for your Twitch Prime. So Iteration, Bolt, Snapcaster, 2 mystery cards. I think a land would have been slammed here. Any land slammers in chat? Maybe just land drawers, huh? If only we had a way to grab just like any kind of card advantage engine here, you know, something to push our advantage. If only I could sign up for some kind of pay to win service in situations like this where I flood out. His name is Lord of Puntlantis, so I hope that they're playing Merfolk. Do you think they would ban Lurrus' companion? I mean, maybe. I think it would be weird if they banned Lurrus as a companion, but maybe it would just be fine. I guess we're going to 5 cards. I guess we're going to 4 cards. Yeah, I think that like it feels messy to just say like Lurrus is legal but you can't use it as a companion. I think that you just ban it, but obviously like companion is really weird design space, so what do I know? So Breeding Pool go, untapped Breeding Pool go. Well, I don't know. We're on a multi-4. I just need to play the monkey, I think. This is... I don't know what this is, though. Living End, actually? Most likely to be Living End? I think I still do the monkey. Could just view companion as mechanically go modern. I know people keep saying that, but I honestly just hate the suggestion since it's like... It's only Lurrus is the problem. And, like, I think the rest of the companions are interesting for deck building. Like, I mean, Lurrus' problem is it has almost no deck building restriction, right? The rest of the companions do have real deck building restrictions. But Lurrus just doesn't. All the other ones I think are pretty fine and interesting, to me at least. Yeah, banning all companions I just don't think is... That's not better than, only banning Lurrus as a companion. That's why how many times people ask me about Lurrus. Yeah, it's a lot, but I also like him. I'm starting to like really. I'm ready for Lurrus to rotate out of the format. I think that it's about time, chat. Okay, well, they have 2 Cascaders. I just take the Violent Outburst, right? And then I can drown the Living End, and they can't protect with Force of Negation. Yeah, we played some Jeskai Murktide today. Didn't go that well. We'll probably play it again. What's the opposite of those bolts? Opposite of those bolts. I don't know what you're trying... I know that you're setting up for a joke, but I don't know what the joke is. These nuts? The opposite of those bolts are these nuts. It kind of feels like a stretch. But I'll let that one slide, I guess. Good joke, Esther. Nuts and bolts? Yeah. But, like, nuts aren't the opposite of bolts. They're just, like, different. It's fine. It wasn't bad. It was fine. I would give it a 6 out of 10, I think. They are? I guess you're right, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Oh, do we hit Charlotte's Agent? And they, like, really needed to draw Charlotte's Agent? Alright. Esther had an amazing These Nuts joke. She totally got me. I've been had. That's kind of just the best hit by a lot. What about countering Charlotte's Agent there to keep the bolts? Well, if we counter Charlotte's Agent and not the Living End, we lose. Remember when we mulled to 4 this game? Why do you run Lightning Bolt over Fatal Push? Do you think Fatal Push is better in Jund? Probably better in Jund. In this deck, like, Bolt is really nice with your shadows in some matchups, where you could use it as, like, blossoming defense. And you're also, you know, a bit more of an aggro deck, so, like, the ability to, you know, target your opponent with Lightning Bolt to deal them 3 damage is nice. If my opponent draws their 3rd Living End, they lose. We've also gone through 3 of their 5 Cascade spells, so they only have 5 left in the deck. Or 3 of their 8 Cascade spells, so they have 5 left. Finish putting this deck together with paper. There's one other person who runs the LGS. Any tips for the Mirror? Mirror takes it's one of the most complicated matchups in the format, I think. It's really, really interesting. It's also takes a long time to learn. I would choose to play, although sometimes there was a time where I thought being on the draw was a little bit better. Play draw doesn't matter that much, honestly. But I would still choose to be on the play. Okay, so we can draw Lightning Bolts. Okay, never mind. We can hit another Cascade spell into Lightning Bolts, maybe. That'd be asking for a lot, though. This matchup isn't great, so winning game 1 here would be pretty important, I think. Oh, we could also hit Living End, and that would be their last Living End. Could also just hit a Steam Vents. Any advice for optimal Inquisition, Thoughtseize, and Grindy matchups? Well, Grindy matchups these days often mean Lurrus matchups, so I think you usually want like 3 Inquisitions, no Thoughtseize. I think that they drew Violent Outburst, and they are unsure when they want to cast this. No. But did they draw the 3rd Living End and they're bluffing? They did not. So let's simply draw the 3rd Lightning Bolt, huh? If they could draw another Cascade spell, why can't I draw a Lightning Bolt? Oh, I'll tell you why, because I fetch before the freaking Architects of Wills resolve. That's why. Let me see if I would have drawn it. I guess it's just a different timeline. Okay, get to bring in these Flusterstorms, though. The Lanterns. Lantern's not that good against them, though. It's like pretty easy for them to put Living End on the stack, and then you Lantern and they cycle a bunch. Three sideboard cards but no lands. I think we unfortunately have to keep this on 6, but we have a Watery Grave and not a red source for Ragavan. Missing half of our 2-card combo, Ragavan plus red source. But I'm not going to go to 5. We got a sideboard card, got Thoughtseizes. Let me take a Waker of Waves here. Pretty happy if they force this pitching the Waker. They force pitching Striped Riverwinder, though. We drew the red source. Any dashers in the chat? Not me. I do think people dash Ragavan like way too much. Especially in spots like this. You just need to have Ragavan make you mana. So my opponent can find a Cascade spell. We lose. But if we can find a counter spell before they find a Cascade spell, we win. Although I think they're pretty favored to find one before we find one. I don't think we can beat double Waker of Waves. It's probably not impossible, though. Iteration's not a bad draw at all. And they did let me hit with Ragavan, so I'm not, like, suspecting, really, that they have a Cascade spell. And we hit a Mystical Dispute, so if they drew a counter spell, we could dispute back here off the treasure token. Which that might be what they're on. Their hand is living in 2 mystery cards, and they're pausing. So I kind of feel like they have an interactive spell and not a Cascade spell. Could just be reading into it too much. Okay, so I definitely need this Flusterstorm in my hand. Yeah, very, very easy Expressive Iteration. And Flusterstorm gives us some good insurance until our opponent gets up to 6 mana. Yeah, they could have Borrower. They're drawing another living in. Let's hope they don't shuffle. Maybe they have a Cascade spell and they... Or in their cycle spell, they don't know that they want to cycle. Okay, they did draw the living end. Tell us about the time you brought Twin and got banned. Yeah, that's a sad story. But I'd been playing Grixis Delver and Grixis Control in Modern for a long time, and I finally... decided to pick up the pieces for the Twin deck, thinking it would be a good, safe deck to invest in and something I could play for a long time. And I got to play 1 F&M with it. I think I went 3-1. I think I lost to Tron, even though Tron was a pretty good matchup. And then I was playing at an LGS before like a different event. I think it was a different format. And we got the news. We got the news that Splinter Twin was banned. I didn't believe it. I was actually playing Twin when Twin was banned, by the way. I don't think I've ever said that part of the story, but I was playing with the deck when I got the news that it was banned. I was playing against like a Soldiers deck or something. We were at Regionals? No, I thought we were at the LGS. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm pretty sure I was at the LGS. Maybe you found out at a different time. Alright, 1 game 2. If they ban Lurrus, does the red-black deck stick around? Maybe. You get to play like Seasoned Pyromancer, maybe Liliana, maybe Blood Moon. Deck's worse though. Corey B, MTG, thanks for the raid, dude. Hope you're having a good day. I don't think I'm changing anything. We're currently going to game 3 against Living End. Almost won on a multi-4 game 1. Not really a keepable hand. Keep this one. Put it mold to 6. I do like having double Flusterstorm. This hand's going to lose if we don't draw lands, though. But if we draw 1 land, we can maybe iteration into the 3rd one. Would decks get way better if Lurrus is banned? Burn. It's a good question. kind of a complicated question. Like, understanding like how entire formats shift around bannings is really difficult to predict perfectly. Yeah, I'd say Murktide is kind of the obvious answer, but I think the real honest answer is I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If only 3 cards in their hand. I didn't realize that they mulligan low. Oh, just a 6. The Grief Pitch is what it was. Yeah, people keep saying Hammer Time gets like way better with the Lurrus ban, but like I don't know. I feel like I keep losing to Hammer's Lurrus. We lost to it like twice today playing the sack deck. Just like we like culling Ritual them and they just Lurrused and got all their cards back. Okay, this is their second living end. They pitched 1 to Grieve. There should only be 1 left in the deck. If we can surveil into a black source, okay. It's now, we can just leave it all to Klothys now. Yeah. I mean, Hammer gets to play Nettlecyst, yeah. But obviously, it's still a downgrade. Like, if Nettlecyst was better than Lurrus, they would be playing it right now. It's still a downgrade. And they would just be, like, a lot weaker to hate without the Lurrus. I think it's weird to graveyard a land, but it feels correct here. Do I care about this Brazen Borrower? I feel like I'll probably let them have it and lose to it, but I really don't think I can afford to let them force a negation my iteration. Does Hammer go full-blown Stoneforge package, Batterskull Cauldra? I don't anticipate main deck Batterskull. Main deck Cauldra is an option. It's main deck Cauldra is better too if you're like main deck Giver or Spellskite too. I just think Hammer would recover better than other Lurrus decks. I don't know. Like, it's just kind of hard for me to imagine that any Lurrus deck gets more powerful when they ban Lurrus. I would say like maybe Rhinos is the deck that benefits the most from a Lurrus ban, right? Because like Lurrus looping engineered explosives is a big part of like how Crashing Footfalls is kept in check. So like the card Explosives gets a lot worse with the Lurrus ban, which I think makes Rhinos even better than it already is. How'd Junsack do? We made a small mistake at the end of our match, which cost us the match playing for 5-0. It's like the 3rd or 4th time I've messed up playing for 5-0 with that deck. Yeah, opponent's name is good. Yeah, that is something I just noticed too. Their graveyard is just Architects of Will, Grieve. Rancid Mine, 13 months. Years to the speed of the league that we catch back up, hopefully. We've got to beat this living end player first, then 3 more opponents. Did they announce an upcoming ban of Modern? No, but I think they should ban Lurrus, to be honest. I've been feeling this way for a while. I think it would be good if they ban Lurrus. I think it would be better. Good for the health of the format. I'm finally tired of the card. Saying things like that is why I'm not getting preview cards? I don't know. Who cares? Okay, so my opponent's disconnected. Okay, it's been 3 minutes since they've taken a game action, so they have 7 minutes to get back. Yeah, settle back Lagak or Jade Avenger. Probably Jade Avenger because that joke has not been funny in a few days now, I think. What's the preview card when I have the best stream? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Did you ever play Draft or Sealed? Yeah, I used to like feel like I was primarily a limited player at one point, like during original Theros. I played a lot of like I played so much Dragon's Maze, Gatecrash, Return to Ravnica draft. I've always done a lot more draft than Sealed. I'd say Sealed has always been the weakest part of my game, but I do feel like when I was preparing for an Amonkhet PTQ, I really did master that Sealed format. But Sealed doesn't come super naturally to me. I have to learn each Sealed format individually, I think. Never mentioned RTR draft. I liked RTR draft, but it was also like my first experience drafting, right? And I actually have a lot of nostalgia for it. And there was like there was a time a few years ago where me and my friends like had a few RTR boxes and we just like drafted it once every weekend, and it was really, really fun. It's definitely some good times. Yeah, I think draft is more fun than Seal 2. Yeah, Triple Theros was really bad. I agree that Triple Theros was not good limited, but I also like I was just like loving limited at the time, and I wasn't really enjoying standard. I wasn't really enjoying standard at the time, so I just kind of switched over to limited, and I didn't really have a good frame of reference for how bad Theros Triple Theros was, and then like Born of the Gods came out, and I was just like, okay, this is like. Yeah, Triple Theros was pretty bad. Since waiting, we have time to brew with Boonsatyr. Yeah, we never ended up finishing the brew around Boonsatyr. We started the brew Boonsatyr. So we've got 4 of our 65 or 75 cards, or 85 cards actually. Oh, okay, let me just go ahead and make sure I. 95. Let me just go ahead and add the Yorion as a companion, and we'll finish this later. Okay, my opponent's finally back. I'm going to cast the Expressive Iteration. We know their hand is just a copy of Brazen Borrower. So let's put that in the graveyard for Delirium. Hand, bottom, exile. And then, do I play a Shadow or do I play a Channeler? Take a Shadow. Say, sorry, I'm going to trade my Wi-Fi sucks. Fair enough. That's a pretty good one. I drew Force of Negation. That's fine. I'd rather drown Living End itself in this spot. I have a very fast clock. Hall of Heliod's Generosity, read by Boonsatyr. This is why I stream. Get good chat suggestions. Somebody remind me to add that after the... Okay, we drew literally the perfect card. Maybe this is going to be a Blessed League. Maybe we catch back up here, huh? Rooting for anyone in the world? It pains me to say I haven't been keeping up with competitive Magic in a long time. It's been really handled poorly. I will look and see who wins. I mean, sorry, Nassif. I'm rooting for Nassif. 100% every single time. My hero. Nassif. This is not a joke. Nassif stand for life. What, Minguchi? I mean, I love Minguchi too, but you know, Nassif has just been like a personal role model to me for my like streaming career, and even before that too. I've always been a player. He's always been a player I've really looked up to, and Nassif is also like, you know, the only like Hall of Fame god that exists that like I think is just like so involved in the community. You know, Nassif has always been like done a great job about making friends with like new people on the scene. He did it with me, and it just like. I see so many new streamers. Nassif is just like immediately friends with them and is like having conversations, and you know, that's something that I really would like to aspire to be, and you know, something I really admire him for. I think he's a really, really good member of the community. He's also, you know, he also has a brain that is just so big. Nassif is so freaking good at Magic, and something that like I even find myself learning from him all the time. It was a rough couple of matches. We bowled to 4 last round, but we emerged unscathed, and we're 2-0. All right, we're gonna play Monkey on turn 1 off of Steam Vents. This is a Naruto headband on my head, and whenever I'm behind in the trophy race, I put it back on until we catch back up. Thoughts on the full Black Art Midnight? Yeah, the Innistrad lands look really, really good. I think they did a great job with those. Yeah, I should be making a tier list. I'll probably do it this afternoon while I'm eating lunch, but lunchtime is usually 30 minutes ago. I did have a big breakfast, but I'm definitely feeling the hunger. Do you think Jund Saga is a good deck in the League meta? No. I'd say it's probably better in the challenge meta, but Jund Saga is like really bad against more linear decks, especially compared to decks like this one. Am I doing still live? Trying to trophy, man. This is probably the last league. Unless Esther comes home with food, then maybe we'll do a 24-hour stream. Plus, I ended a bunch of streams early this week, right? I think, like, I went, like, 20 minutes late yesterday, but every stream before that was, like, 30 minutes early. You think 57050? Hell yeah, brother. That's right, Esther. I think... Yeah, she's not in the chat. I could text her, but I don't want to be a bother. So playing against Blue-Red Murktide, we already played this matchup once this league. Since I added the third Terminate to the sideboard, I've really come to like this matchup, and I guess it's not 100% to be Blue-Red Murktide, but okay. It is not 100% to be Blue-Red Murktide, huh? Alright, well... I'm not, can't cast that one. Song of Creation combo is probably a good matchup. And thankfully is not another like super grindy Ragavan matchup. Oh man. I can't even like look at this. This hand is so ugly. I think I take the Pentad Prism. We do need to find an answer for the Breach. Would I cast it? Maybe. I don't know. Kind of depends. We could Iteration first for Delirium, but I think I'm going to attack because maybe I'll get to cast Song of Creation. What does that deck do if you don't let Song it play? Nothing, probably. I mean, maybe they can win with Underworld Breach, but without Grinding Station, they're playing Channeler? Oh, this like is really... It's honestly kind of unlucky for my opponent that I hit like their only good card. And one that like works really well with my deck, and the deck when they've got like a bunch of rituals and stuff, right? Alright, we can keep a Bauble for the Iteration. It's fine. Some decks are ugly, right? And we hit pretty perfectly. This is maybe going to end up being a blessed league. I don't mean to trash talk their deck so much. I'm mostly teasing. Just sometimes it's a bit too free for the bean. Prince's stream is so lit right now. What's going on? Prince's stream is always lit. He's a really good streamer. Just chilling, yeah. Yeah, Prince is a really good streamer. 3-1 with Saga Band. Yeah, the music is always like phenomenal too. This is like a storm list. Kind of. Yeah, so they play Song of Creation, right? Which is a 4-mana enchantment. And it says, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. But at your end step, you have to discard your entire hand. And the idea is that they are going to, you know, play Pyretic Ritual, draw 2 cards, make mana. They're going to go through their deck. They're going to, theoretically, deck themselves and cast Thassa's Oracle. I think it might be Grapeshot that they win with instead, but I haven't seen the deck in a long time. It's, in my opinion, a pretty weak strategy. Definitely going to keep another Drown. Can imagine how the last couple months would have been without Prince. Pretty boring, I think. The trophy race would be pretty boring. We'd just be crushing it. And people would be a lot less invested. And so I'm really happy that Prince has been competing with us. It's really been great. I'm probably just wasting my time casting this Bauble. You know what I mean? It's like there's no way my opponent can beat 2 Drowns, right? So it might just be better for everybody if I didn't get max value out of the iteration. But then chat would yell at me. Honestly, I feel like Prince is the hero here, right? Where I'm the, you know, the big streamer with, you know, no personality and plays the bad decks. But Prince is the hero. He's got his Mono Green Tron deck. He's got his cool Jun Brew. He's ready to take down this big greedy streamer. And I'm the villain of this story for sure. So they're playing Channeler. Cut the Dress Downs, the Heats. How many bolts do I need for Channeler? Kroxa's probably a little slow. I guess we can just sideboard like this, though. 0 2 months, appreciate ya. Yeah, Toxic Streamer tells his chat that Expansion Explosion isn't playable. Yeah, Prince is also, you know, super jacked, and, you know, I'm just the skinny, conniving Twitch streamer over here. The Prince who was promised, huh? I can keep this. I think sometime in the future you'll invite channel, do a 400 gifted to trophy leader. Maybe. The problem with like gifting subs to the winner is like, what if the winner isn't a streamer? Although maybe that's not that likely. Can my chat please let me be the villain? Let me have one cool thing. I know I'm not cool enough to be the villain. But I sure would like to be. I sure would like to be. Yeah, I wanted to take the Pinted Prism here. Looks like they do win with Grapeshot. If you want to be a villain, need a different headband, I'll just scratch it. A community competition? I mean, this was kind of a community competition, right? It was definitely like, obviously anybody was, you know, open to compete in the trophy race. But as far as like tournaments and stuff, I don't think they're really for me. I've done a little bit of casting in the past, and I haven't liked it very much. I haven't really enjoyed doing any of the casting I've done, so I don't think I'd be that likely to like host too many tournaments. Maybe if someone else hosted it, I would like do commentary if I didn't have to do any work besides show up and commentate. But I like to put a lot of work in the deck building and a lot of work into the playing and talking with people about decks and new cards. And I don't necessarily like putting a lot of work into planning and organizing and stuff. You know what I mean? But if someone else did all the work, all the boring stuff, then maybe I would commentate. If Tournament Magic turn, what would I be playing? I'd probably play this if I had to play something today. This is what I played at the Hunter Burton recently, and I did top 8 that. Okay, so now we can play our Death Shadow. If they ping me for one, they did. Yeah, I'm pretty about to be Perspiring Spike, but right now I'm honestly starving Spike. I couldn't think of something that rhymed, but I haven't eaten since early this morning. I got up at like 6:30 this morning to finish an article too. It's kind of running on fumes here, huh? Got some Griffith vibe. Nobody's the hero. I'm pretty sure one person is clearly the protagonist with that dynamic. Maybe I've misinterpreted the vibe of Berserk, but I'm pretty sure one of those two characters is pretty heavily implied to be the hero. Protagonist is not equal hero? Yeah, but even in that case, it's like, I think, pretty clearly defined. I also don't want to talk about the last chapter. But yeah, let me be the villain, please. I like to Twitch chat. I'd please like to, yeah, last chapter has me pretty fucked up too. Yeah, but I'd like to apply to the role of villain. My qualifications are that I have a black heart and, a sad childhood, and I want to remake the world in my image. Thank you for your consideration. We're powering through. Thoughts on hardened scales? A somewhat playable deck. So Gemstone Caverns is usually rhinos. So I think I'll play Channeler on one. They exiled islands, so they could be Mono Blue Tron. I didn't want to say that out loud. Hello. I'm still streaming.
I know, I see.
No,
you're just talking to your computer.
No, I didn't play around Condescend. Oh, come on. They repeal instead, that's fine. Well, Mono Blue Tron is historically our nemesis. I've never beaten them ever. Let's go and take that expedition map, I suppose. I've never even come close to beating Mono Blue Tron. You play Urza's Mine. Play the Spellskite. Spellskite, second time playing against this card today, actually. Let's expressively iterate. Putting Kroxa in the graveyard. 3 lands, a bit unfortunate. I could try to Unholy Heat the Spellskite now. If I hit Delirium, obviously it's great that I kill the Spellskite, but what's also nice is like next turn I think I'm going to escape Kroxa anyways. Like no matter what happens, I'm going to try to escape Kroxa. And so it's like, this is, I think, just kind of a freebie. And we did hit the Delirium. Gotta get lucky to beat Bluetron, chat. You gotta get lucky to beat Bluetron. Alright, so it has Typhoon. Power Plant mystery card. 2 mystery cards. I can get Delirium next turn by playing. I guess I could have delved a bit differently, but I can fetch and cast the Bolt to get Delirium. So they cycled the Typhoon. I was worried that they would have something to interact with me, but we're probably just gonna get, you know, towered into Ulamog or something. Might keep a upkeep stop the Bolt. They're the old Hydroid Grixis variant, it seems. They play the blue-green pathway. Let's go upkeep, lightning bolt, shark. You hate to see it. Nobody's happy that I'm bolting the shark here, but we have to do what we have to do. Oh, I also Messed this delve up real bad. Because I lost the creature from the yard with the Kroxa. Okay, so I was never getting Delirium. Because I lost the creature, that's right. I've been the villain for the Bluetron community for a long time, I know. Happily the villain for that community. I've been trying to get Wizards to ban Condescend for years. And now we actually have Delirium thanks to the Channeler in the yard. Let's go. We are doomed this match. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't have any illusions that I can beat Mono Bluetron. I'm going to bring in these explosives to beat Chalice, though. I guess I'll bring in the Alpine Moons. Simply an exercise in futility. Flusterstorm better than Drown. I mean, their graveyard was pretty full there. I do think I want a couple Flusterstorms. I think I'll just play like one Unholy Heat. What colorless lands are for E? I don't need a colorless land. I'm just going to play it on 0. So like they're likely going to Chalice on 1, and I'm just going to play E on 0 and kill their Chalice. Let's also kill Sharks. Any chance we side Drowns out since we need a lot of cards in the yard? I mean, if you looked at that game, they had a lot of cards in their yard. They've got a lot of cheap spells. I don't know. I haven't thought about the Mono Bluetron matchup. I'm not going to. Expedition map. I'm going to play a turn 1 monkey, and I'm just not going to play a turn 1 monkey and don't care about the Mono Bluetron matchup. I secretly cared this whole time. Chat couldn't tell that I cared. Be too embarrassed to lose to Mono Bluetron for the 1000th time on stream. But I've got to keep it cool. I can't let them know that. They have a second power plant in their hand? I don't know, it's just like you always like Thoughtseize them and their hand looks like this, and then all of a sudden you're just Hydroid Priestess and you're dead, and you're trying to figure out where it all went wrong. And maybe it was the day you made your Twitch account, huh? Exile the 3rd power plant. That would have been funny for them to draw. Missed on lands, but you know, that was almost a foregone conclusion. We just grab Blast Zone, right? Or name Blast Zone. They get an Urza's Mine, so the hand is currently Mine Power Plants. The top card is Spellskite, which blocks Monkey. We still haven't found another land. We've had a lot of looks. So they play the non-Spellskite card. Is this a Typhoon? It's a Hydroid Grixis for 1 card, but it's a 2/2. Okay, so we get to go Thoughtseize and then decide to play Shadow or Inquisition. I think I'm pretty happy to trade Ragavan for a Grixis here. I'll just take the other one. Spellskite Power Plants. They play the 2 cards we knew about, still have that other one. Could be anything. So let's Kroxa it out of their hand. Never mind. Let's get Condescended. Yeah, drawing a basic land was a bit awkward too. They did keep a card on top. It's Tower. They don't currently have any cards to, you know, do anything with that though. So our shadows are 5/5s. Should I Kroxa or should I play double shadow explosives on 2? I think it's just like if they chump block, I get to kill them next turn with the explosives line. Yeah, I think it's still double shadow. Do I explosives on 2? I guess not. If they play, you know, Grixis or Spellskite, I can still explosives on 2. Just kind of stinks that they chump block that turn. Punish for not playing the explosives. But then now we get to, is this lethal even? I think we're like 2 points short because they have to chump block. We draw a card. We deal them 14. We can Kroxa them down to 2 life. And I just don't remember if 2 is or is not 0. All right, let's try to find a drown. No drown. This is 2 more looks though. We also get to find out what they're top decking before they do, which is exciting. Lady Lavinia's, thank you for your raid. Currently, they're drawing card. Oh no. Okay, we need to draw drown. Yes! Let's freaking go. I can't believe it. Okay, we definitely played to our outs here though. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Thanks again, lady, for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Let's freaking go. How do I do that? Play to the outs, baby. Play to the outs. So we got a deck tech too, real quick, for Umbra. We can do that while we get... This is... Okay, so I honestly, I can't take another L. I can't take another L here. We're currently in a heated trophy race. We lost twice yesterday on stream playing for a trophy. We've already lost once today playing for a trophy. I can't take another L in these 5-0 matches. Thanks, lady. I can't take another L here. I have to. Prince has gotten 2 trophies in 48 hours. We have like 4 or 5 days left in the bet. So last time we were playing 4-0, we had an opponent who was 1-0, and we lost. Likely to a mistake. Sand's fine. It's really bad if they're playing like Tron. Ragavan Triumph go. I'm a bit worried about Chalice of the Void. No, we have a prediction going, Stokey. You just missed it. Explore. So no Ridden 6, please. Bummer. I haven't loved this matchup. I haven't played it a lot lately. It's not, you know, it's not the worst matchup in the format, though. They're drawing an Omnath, which is definitely, like, their draw is definitely good against ours here, though. I probably should have left Steam Vince up. If their next 2 lands are both fetches, we can drown the Omnath because they have the Explorer. Or we can draw a discard spell. None of those things. I guess the Magic Guards weren't listening. I needed my opponent to have the fetch lands, not me. Is this the Rockrick deck? No, Explore and Valakut means that this is a Bring to Light Scape Shifts. Didn't even notice the typo. Yeah, I think that they're favored in this matchup, but it's not that bad. But maybe it's not that good either, huh? If they play Dryad, we get to go drown Dryad, drown Omnath. I think that's what they're doing. They're exploring, okay. If they deal me damage, then all of a sudden my Shadows are better. Okay, this is actually kind of fine. Now we get to go drown, Omnath, hold up, drown. They only have a blue red floating. I guess they could play a Teferi though, or a Dryad off the Heath mana. Looks like Dryad. They have 2 cards left after the Dryad. Oh, it's Wrenn and 6. Okay. I guess I was just kind of assuming the worst, but this is not really doing that much right now. So here's a question. Do I need to drown the Omnath right now? I don't really feel like I do. It's bad if they cast Bring to Light, or just like if they play around drown in general. But I think getting the Shadow in play this turn is pretty important. Need to hold up drown. Well, obviously we hold up drown, but the option is drown Omnath, hold up drown, or play Shadow. I think I'd rather play the Shadow. Can you drown the Scape Shift they grab? Well, they can grab Valky though and play around drown. I didn't like the Just Skyrocket deck, but I've got some ideas for it post Innistrad. I gotta dodge Bring to Light. Alright. It's, you know, a bit awkward because they can plus and get some card advantage. But it's better than being dead, I think. Then we can attack Wrenn and 6 with Shadow next turn to stop them from looping the Triome. Why is Iteration so freaking broken? It's so broken. I don't use that word lightly. The Prismatic Ending. Which is pretty unlucky for us, but whatever. We could just be dead this turn. We're not. Take the little blessings. So our best draw, I think, here is Unholy Heat. Maybe not. Just bolt me, opponent. Just do it. Any mountain is lethal. They don't have enough mountains. No, they only have 4 mountains in play right now. They have Windswept Heath on top. Well, we need to drown the Omnath, so we get to sit back. I guess I can actually... Yeah, I can see if I draw Heat off the Bauble. I'd rather use Heat there. There's no way they're on Bolt. They can play Bolt, yeah. It's like not that likely, but they can be on Bolt. How about a Scalding Tarn? Yes, please. 1 Scalding Tarn to the hand. I spent $90 on these for a reason, and that reason is to draw them. Drew the Jeskai Triumph, so here's Windswept Heath, mystery card, mystery card. I think this is Prismatic Ending on Lurrus. Alright, well, we did draw, 8 lands as our shadow deck. There's only 7 left in the deck, but I'll tell you what, you know what we're not? We're not dead. Iteration off the top, let's go. No, we have a second Steam Vents for the Scalding Tarn. I would play the first. I like the 4th drown over the 3rd Unholy Heat. 4th drown is really important in a lot of matchups. A bit weak to resolve Planeswalkers as this game shows. I don't know that I agree. We've got a lot of creatures, but I also I've got a pet peeve for when we get super flooded and be like, let's Spike, you see your deck is weak to resolved Planeswalkers. You did to Natty Valakut trigger? Yeah. Wait, they pinged me? Spike, I think that your deck is I think you've got too many lands in the deck, huh? You ever think about that? I think you got this deck misbuilt, buddy. Let's add Expansion Explosion. Feels pretty bad, huh? That's why good old Klothys gave us 3 games to win a match of Magic, or at best 2 out of 3. I guess I would something like this. I'm a bit worried about Chalice. I kind of just don't want to play around it. Doesn't like the draw is particularly strong either. I disagree. They turn 2 Ridden 6, turn yeah, didn't they go turn 2 Ridden 6, turn 3 Omnath Fetchland to Fairy Time Raveler? No, yeah, their draw was good. No. Oh yeah, so turn 4. It was turn 2, turn 3 Explore, turn 4 Omnath Fetchland. Yeah, no, their draw was really good. Okay, got games 2 and 3. We keep this hand. Hand's really strong. We'll be all right. Thank you, Channeler. Let's get an Explorer on top. Very close to having Delirium here. Triumph tapped. Monkey. Gonna Thoughtseize them. Definitely keep Iteration on top, even though I played the Swamp, which, you know, obviously a bit awkward here. I have to take this Chalice. Oh, they have all tap lands? It's pretty interesting. So if they Ridden 6 kill a creature, I just kill the Ridden 6. And I've got the Iteration on top, so I think I want to just be able to use my mana here. They draw the untapped lands. Feels bad, man. Now it's for Chalice. I wasn't 100% sure they were playing it. I mentioned about it, but yeah, we do have outs for Chalice and Thoughtseize. We could probably bring in like 1 Explosives for the next game. This game's, you know, very far from over. We're about to draw Expressive Iteration, about to kill their Ridden 6. Pretty sure we put Lurrus in our hand. We can also cast the Iteration. But the only thing we can hit off of it for value is a discard spell here. And Lurrus is pretty good on this board, right? Could have Unholy Heated to get Delirium. I know. I think that my line was better. Probably should have got Blood Crypt, actually. Yeah, but this line's just like so good if they don't hit the land, and even if they do hit the land, it's not that bad. And like the heat is pretty important to kill, you know, Dryad or to Fairy, right? Yeah, the Blood Moon stops them from, you know, combo killing us. So I'm gonna, or the not Blood Moon, Alpine Moon, but I'm gonna try to hold it for a bit, I think. Playing the Iteration will let us Shadow and let us maybe kill them quickly, and that's a bit better than playing Lurrus into the Teferi bounce. Oh, I feel like I have to keep the Drown. We hit the land off Drown for like the first time today, which is very exciting. And then should I play the Shadow? I don't think I need to hold up Drown this turn. Their mana's pretty good at this point. It's probably fine to spend this Steam Vents casting the Alpine Moon now. And then that will hit something next turn, so I guess I'll keep it. It's pretty good. We're still doing fine. I'm going to take the Teferi. I don't even, like, the Dryad doesn't really do anything with the Alpine Moon. Yeah, maybe I don't need to Unholy Heat it. They're not playing the Dryad. Maybe I should have actually held that and gone Lurrus Channeler. I think I'll still go Lurrus Channeler. Sadly, don't have enough black mana to play the Shadow instead. They're gonna ice or fire my Lurrus. Then their hand will be Dryad, Temple Garden if they don't fetch, Mystery card, and then 2 mystery cards, no Temple Garden if they do. Second Ragavan Triumph's kind of interesting. I didn't know that they played that. So I'm probably not going to kill the Dryad too aggressively. Okay, yeah, this feels kind of bad because I would have surveilled that Blood Crypt to the yard. You put an upkeep stop. Could you afford to wait on Lurrus for 5th land to protect the Drown? I don't think so. I don't like just doing nothing that turn. They get to cycle the Fire Ice. The Drown is like really high value to stop them from bringing to light in the late game too. I think they drew Bring to Light. And so they Bring to Light for Valky. We can kill the Valky, but it'll be a 3-for-1. Trolls have been pretty good this game. This Valky is beatable. Well, they minused. Okay, well. Their hand is Dryad Mystery card. We have Unholy Heat in our hand, but we don't need to use it to kill the Valky. Because remember when Valky was the format's chase mythic? It's Ragavan now. Two free for the bean, huh? Alright, they get to cast my Channeler. That one feels a bit sad. So we heat the Channeler. The Dryad's not doing that much with the Moon in play. Very tense match. Very tense match. Drown the Dryad just to get a monkey swing in. I don't like it. The Drown has so much value. We have a lot of answers to Dryad. Or not a lot, but like enough that I'm just like that not interested in like using all my resources to dash and get a monkey hit in. Especially when if I like draw nothing and then I can do that next turn. Looks like the last card is Prismatic Ending. Yeah, I don't know how the camera got all unfocused. Prismatic Ending the Alpine Moon. So I can go dress down here, just see what we draw. Destroy the Dryad. Second Drown is a great draw. Kind of the perfect draw. Such a good card in this deck. They only have 4 mountains, so they're 2 away from triggering Valakut. Not that worried about it. It's a dead draw though. But as we all know, in modern, if you hit your opponent with a Ragavan, you win. We exiled another Valakut. Okay, now they are 1 mountain away from triggering Valakut. I'm very worried about this. Inquisition, Bloodstained Mire. I forgot to put Valakut in my deck. Omnath. I mean, I'm casting it. Just doubled our clock. Was countering ending an option? Not a good option. and terrible. Way better to kill the Dryad. Way better to kill the Dryad there. I don't like Destroy Dread over countering. You are absolutely wrong. You are 100% wrong there if you want to not counter the ending. Killing the Dryad lets us attack with Ragavan, and we hold up a Drowned Loch, which can counter Bring to Light, Omnath, literally anything they play. You're absolutely wrong if you're nitpicking and saying we shouldn't have killed the Dryad with the Drown. You're just wrong. Okay, draw was Temple Garden. We're dead if they draw a mountain. No, we go to 2 life if they draw a mountain. And then they die to my 4 damage. They drew another Valakut. Okay, so not countering Drown, countering the Prismatic Ending. It's just like you're so wrong about it. You're just you're just blindsided by like the way this game played out. We're not even in bad position. We're not even in bad shape here. Why aren't they fetching? There's no need. There's no rush for them to fetch. And if they fetch, they like remove a mountain from their deck and they want to draw a mountain. I'm just gonna hold up the Drowns. Yeah, I'm a little hangry. I haven't eaten since this morning, but it's also like you're wrong, chat. So I get to yell at you. It's our little agreement that we have. Chat's wrong. I get to yell. Everybody has a good time. They've already cast 1 Verdict. They usually only play 1. Okay, game 3. My opponent also only has 9 minutes on their clock. I'm trying to think of what the 3rd Terminate on the draw. These dress downs don't seem that good. No, I need to play 1 Explosives. They brought in Chalice. Just play 1. I don't think we can afford to play more than 1. Yeah. Tried any interesting Valky builds? I trophied like the last time I played Sultai Valky like 3 weeks ago. Nothing too crazy, but I do need to like return to the archetype. Yeah, Moon was super good, but I don't think you can afford to play more than 2. It's just like you really can't afford to draw 2 usually. Yeah, 9 minutes is plenty of time for my opponent. Like it's possible that they time out if they play too slowly, but most Magic players are pretty aware of their clock, and I doubt that the timer is going to come into play really. All right, let's mulligan this. My opponent's kept 7. All right, keep, I guess. Hand needs some help, huh? 3rd Drown coming back to mock us. You should have countered the Prismatic Ending, Spike. Now I've come to enact my revenge. Jesus, man, gotta let stuff go. Shut up. I can complain about what I want to complain about. Shut the fuck up. I'm allowed to crack a joke. Don't take it so hard. It's my stream. You can leave. Angry Spike be a bad mulligan decision? I don't know, man. You would have gone to 5 on the draw. I think you just have to keep. You guys remember game 1 of this match? You guys remember game 1 of this match? Yeah, a long time ago, huh? Yeah, the problem is we drew way too many lands that game. We forgot to save them for this game. Yeah, again, thank you for the 5-pack. Yeah, even if this Watery Grave was a Blood Crypt. Why aren't they cycling main phase? They might think I have something, I don't know. If we draw one land, we have just hard counters up too. It's so frustrating. Their draw is like, I don't know. I mean, the second Thoughtseize got that Bring to Light, but it's been such a frustrating game. They're gonna ice me. Okay. Resolves. Winning this game would be so absurd. I think we need to Alpine Moon here. Name Valakut? Oh. Outside assistance, but I'll take it. They have Prismatic Ending, which makes sense. My opponent's tapping so slowly. Okay. We're dead. There's no way they fetch here if they don't have Bring to Light. Oh, they have Natural Valakut. Do I have any shadows in my hand? You're winning on time. This opponent's too slow. I'm at 8 life. I'm dead. They have no cards in their hand. They can draw one with Teferi. I'm just dead to. I guess I go to 2. They plus. I'm not sure that there's like a more frustrating draw than like basic Swamp here. Even basic Mountain's better. No, I guess that's not the same. I hate that on top. So do I have to just graveyard and try to find the second Alpine Moon? I guess, man. Or Death Shadow. Yeah, another drown would have been fun. I'll concede if I'm 0% to win, like I always do. Like if my opponent's stumbling to click through Escape Shift Kill. I don't anticipate that happening. I think the only way we could win this game is we draw our second copy of Alpine Moon this turn. We drown the Dryad. And then we have to draw an answer for Teferi. And now they have 2 Dryads, so I don't think we have a chance. Oh, right, they just get the fetch land and they kill us. Yeah, that was one of the most demoralizing matches I've ever played in my entire life. That game 1, draw like 11 lands, lose into game 2. Mull to 6, have to keep the 1 lander on the draw. Never, you know, draw any land in the top 6. We're, you know, probably winning that game. But we got some time left in the race, obviously. We've lost now 4 times in a row playing for 5-0. But it's not over. We still have 4 days. We're only 1 trophy behind. That's going to be the end of the stream, guys. It really feels bad to end the week on this note. I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I should be live on Sunday. No, I'm like way over time. We're at the end today.